Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Savvy Business Show. My name is Hanneke. I am your business coach and also the creator of the Mastermind, the Savvy Business Mastermind program, where I help women to grow their businesses in a supportive way with business coaching, a community, and some hardcore business strategies. So I was really looking forward to doing this live with you guys today, but unfortunately, I had something creep up on me last minute and I have to dash and be on a client call. But thank goodness we have technology. So I was able to pre-record this conversation that I wanted to have with you today about relieving pressure and getting this whole pressure thing off of yourself, because it actually doesn't serve you in your business. So I'm going to put that on. If you have any questions for me, if anything, any ahas come to you, I want to hear about it. So please do pop those questions for me in the comments below, and then I will grab them afterwards. And in the meanwhile, I am going to send this over for you. All right, so I'm just going to change it up here. So I'm going to put the video file in, and then it should. Hello there. I am so excited to talk to you about this topic today, because this has been something that's been coming up in my masterminds. It's come up with my private clients. It's even been sort of prevalent in the last couple of months or so in my own business. And I've had some massive ahas around the whole pressure topic, right? So what we're going to discuss here today is we're first going to unpack pressure, and we're going to talk about where pressure comes from. And then I'm going to give you some ideas and some ways how you can just notice it when it's present, because I think that's something that's missing. We sometimes don't notice when pressure is actually present for us. So just sort of ideas of how you can become more aware of it. And then I'm also going to share a couple of ideas of how to get rid of it. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover today. And just before we dive into that, remember that if you are currently struggling with any pricing or sales strategies, like if you're doubting your prices, if you're feeling sleazy about selling, I am having a workshop next week, Friday, May 18th, to help you to specifically get more confident in your prices and also your sales process, so that you can sell in an authentic way that is you, but you can also set prices that are going to help you to hit your income goal. So if you're interested in that, I've set a link below for that, or ask me a question about it, and I'm happy to share about that. I'm also still enrolling people in my mastermind programs. Okay, that was that. That's what we needed to get out of the way. Now we can dive into pressure. Okay, so the way that pressure showed up for me, so there's sort of external pressure that gets put on to us, and then this internal pressure. So let's discuss external pressure first, okay? So with external pressure, that's the stuff that we pick up where we're comparing ourselves with others. Social media definitely doesn't help. And it gives us this idea of like we should be further along, or we should be doing something that we are not. And that will start to feel like, oh my God, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. So a very cool way for you to start to realize when you're feeling pressure around external forces is if you're using the word I should be doing something, right? Or we should be. As soon as you're doing that, that means you're actually going against what you want to be doing. So just paying attention to that one little word, and I'll come back to how we can then move through that. But let's go to internal pressure, because this one I feel like is actually way more prevalent for all of us. And I'll share a story, for instance, what has happened to me. So when I was little, I did music and I did ballet, right? And those are two very strict forms of art where you are constantly only being given one shot to do something perfectly. And as a result of of this just having one shot to do something perfectly, I internalized that as I have to be perfect. Oof, that was loud. Sorry, that was my little reminder here. Remind me to shut that off next time. But okay, so oh my goodness, are we going to get this all the time? Sorry, guys. Let's just make sure that that doesn't happen again. Be quiet. We don't want to know about this. Okay, so sorry. Internal pressure, right? So as a result of this having to perform stuff once, and then also I was in boarding school, which you had to behave in a certain way, otherwise you'd get in trouble, very strict environment, and then also just being someone who wanted to achieve A's at school, I internalized a lot of that as I have to be perfect and things have to be perfect at all times. And if they're not perfect, then I'm not happy. And so I wanted to control the outcome. And now I want to tell you something that's actually quite funny. When I go back into when I started doing music, when I started doing ballet, the first ballet exam I ever took, I got the highest grade of our entire class. The next year, I had that pressure on myself and that expectation that I had to be the best again. And guess what? Didn't do so well in that exam. Every single exam report after that would state that the student showed signs of nervousness. It's the same thing for me, not so much with music. Was it with music? Not so much. Actually, I used to sing as well. And I used to love singing, but then I started to make it like it has to be perfect, and I took all the fun out of it. And then I messed up, and that's a whole different story that we'll get into another day. But so putting all this pressure, what I'm trying to tell you is putting all this pressure on myself made me actually not perform well. So let's fast forward a little bit into how this plays out in your business if you're putting too much pressure on yourself. So this striving to be perfect, having to should be something that it's not, takes the fun out of business, right? It takes the fun out of it. It makes it very hard work. It makes me take it very seriously. And so when I'm in that mode in my business, I typically don't enroll clients easily, and things actually go not so good in my business. I actually scorch my business when doing it because I'm white knuckling everything and I'm trying to control all the outcomes and trying to get it perfect. And by doing that, I'm making myself super anxious and I'm not accomplishing anything. And it's not a wonder that I'm not doing it, because if you think about it, if this is what's going on underneath the surface and I'm anxious and I'm not enrolling people as fast as it's like, that's not the point. But so I'm anxious, right? And I'm like controlling that I have to have 500 people, and I'm upset because I'm not getting the numbers that I want on social media. If I'm operating from there, if you were to meet me in the street, you'll probably pick up on that vibe. You're not going to know what's up, but something is going to be like, I'm not really that interested in working with her, right? And this works so quickly, as soon as I let all of that go, things start happening. And I think this is where all of us have been conditioned in a very wacky way, because when we look at corporate America, when we look at what they teach us at school, it's like you've got to work, and you got to really, push hard, you got to hustle, you got to do your thing, and all that, if you're already a type A person or already a high achieving person, is going to give you a lot of internal pressure. And when you have all that internal pressure, things are not going to happen for you. You are actually going to work against yourself, because as soon as you're in that anxious mindset, you are focusing on how to solve problems instead of focusing on everything that's going right and letting your creative juices flow, right? So pressure robs us of our creativity. It makes us anxious. It gets us all stressed out. It makes you do all the busy work. It overwhelms you. There's so much that pressure does that's so not good for you and is counterproductive, counterintuitive, and you really just got to let that go. So how do you let that go? Okay, so the first thing is to become aware of where you're applying too much pressure, right? Where are you trying to control so much that in controlling or in applying all that pressure, you're actually stifling its growth, right? And normally how you're going to feel this, for me, how it shows up in my body is that I have this grinding feeling right inside here that makes me realize that I'm applying pressure. I am not in a good zone right now. So how do you then get out of it? First of all, I'm going to go and look at what are the fears that I have around this project that I'm working on. And normally the fears for clients will go like, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to make enough money. I'm going to not have enough clients. My business is going to fail. And then you want to go further than that. Okay, so why are you afraid of that? What's going to happen if that happens? And normally when you dig into your fear like that, you're going to come up with solutions and you're going to go, okay, well, if this happens, then I will be able to do that. I will come up, if my business fails, then I'll probably just get up and start another business or go and get a job, but I can fix that for myself. So then once you've released your fear, is what we call that, or at least once you've been able to identify the fear and then come up with some solutions, then you'll be able to go, okay, now that I've done that, I am actually going to get more curious about what I'm doing. What feels exciting to me right now to work on? What is going to make this project more fun? How am I going to just see where this lands? Things that also work for me to take off pressure is to exercise daily and to make sure that when I'm sitting at my desk, I am in my flow zone, which means I'm actually really wanting to sit here versus just being busy with the busy work. Okay, so those are just a couple of ways for you to identify where the pressure is coming from, external, internal, and then also going and releasing that pressure off of yourself. Because as I just proved through my story, it doesn't work, okay? This whole story that we're all being conditioned, like we gotta hustle hard, we gotta grind, we gotta be so busy, is BS, okay? Leave that behind. Start to work in a way that feels more aligned with who you are and what are your circumstances that works well for you, and things will start to get better. All right. If you want more ways to release this pressure, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to share more. And as always, you can join my newsletter. I've left the link if you want to get these videos straight to your inbox with no spam, and want to stay up to date with all of the upcoming events or masterminds or anything fun like that, right? I'm going to be sharing these weekly. You're going to get them either as interviews or just me. And next time, I promise I will be live. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be live today. So you can do that. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you found this very helpful and you have a friend that needs to hear this information, then by all means, please do share this video with them as well. And remember, in the comments, you can ask me any of your pressure questions or what were your ahas today. Anything is welcome. I want to hear from you guys. I'm excited to interact with you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next round of the Savvy Business Show. Bye, guys.